What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of ITZY's 7th EP, Kill My Doubt. Of course, ITZY, JYP, 5-piece K-pop girl group, a group I'm a fan of. I've enjoyed ITZY's music to this point. I think they've impressed me with being a group that all 5 members have a pretty distinct, pretty noticeable musical strengths, musical personalities. They're, I think, an interesting and fun group, and a likable group. And some of their early music has really stood out. Obviously, their biggest song, Wannabe, amazing banger, one of my favorite K-pop songs for sure. Since those early days, though, ITZY debuting back in 2019, the past few years, past few releases have been a bit more polarizing, I think, to ITZY fans. You had Sneakers about a year ago. Their last release was Cheshire back in December. And now we have Kill My Doubt. And these last 3 EPs have just been a bit up and down, I think, in terms of most people's estimation. And ITZY, which kind of busts on the scene with that classic girl crush concept as far as K-pop group goes, creatively, sonically, they've been, I think, in a bit of a run. Not that they've been making anything bad, but they just haven't quite hit the highs they did when they first bust out onto the scene. And it's become more apparent as some of their peers have, kind of bust out. ITZY, I guess, probably one of, if not the first 4th-gen K-pop girl group. Everyone who immediately followed them, though, has made a ton of noise and really got a lot of credit for pushing K-pop forward. Think of course, New Jeans and IVE and LE SSERAFIM. And I feel like ITZY is in a bit of a tough spot where they might get a little left behind in terms of most people's attention, as these other groups are just incredibly hot and incredibly interesting. And of course, check out my reviews on some of those groups. I'm a fan of them. And ITZY, they put out a documentary, 2 parts on YouTube, about an hour long, going into, the creative process behind Kill My Doubt and what that was like. And it seems that the group put a lot of work into this, of course, and is also very invested in making something good and really feeling that pressure to do just that. And to say all that, it's not for lack of trying, but I still feel like Kill My Doubt's a bit of a mixed bag. I give them credit, though, for what Kill My Doubt is, because there's a lot of different sonic ideas on the album, or the EP. The problem is, it's only 6 songs, so they don't really go down any of these new ideas more than once, and you don't really get any of those new ideas to deliver a full impression. And I just don't think the songs are completely here on Kill My Doubt. Track 1, Bet On Me, that's the lead single, has a music video out, been out about a month. That's a song where, sonically it's, I think, a bit more understated, a bit softer than some of their past big songs, but to me it just doesn't quite have enough to really grab you, where I commend them for doing something a little bit of a different speed for them, but just doesn't completely, I think, have the oomph to really make you want to revisit it. I think Rujin's rap is just okay on that. The synth line is probably the most interesting part about the production, and it's a solid chorus from Yeji, Chaeyoung, and Leah, but I just don't really feel like it completely grabs you. The music video, they're kind of running and moving forward and kind of setting you up for this kind of boxing concept visually that they're doing with the album, but it's just not quite enough. Then I think we should go to track 3, None of My Business, which was the second single, also has a music video. And None of My Business, I think, is interesting. The chorus, pretty sticky from Yeji and Chaeyoung and Yuna, but also I feel like it's a little bit underwritten. The performance is good, and in general, I like ITZY as performers, but just the song isn't completely there with the chorus, even if it's vaguely catchy, but not quite catchy. What's interesting about it is Rujin is singing both on verse 1 and 2, and she very rarely has fully developed singing verses, right? On the other side of that coin, Rujin's normal strength is rapping, but I thought the rap on None of My Businesses feels completely out of place and kind of awkward from Rujin, despite her normally doing that. Right after that part, though, you have Leah rapping. Leah, of course, one of the main vocalists on ITZY. She does not do rapping. So, having Rujin do a lot more singing and Leah actually do some rapping felt like a change, something different, right? But ultimately, I just don't think there's enough to the song. It's like it's just a bit half baked to me. I think this all kind of comes to a head for the wrong reasons with track 2, Cake, which also has a music video out now, which is an awesome looking video with like the red visuals. I like the video, but the song, gosh, the boring refrain of cake, 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 with these grating, loud horns on top of it. I think it's obviously very underwritten. It is not fun to listen to. Kind of like a feeble attempt at some kind of TikTok virality, I think. I don't know. I did not like it. I guess the pre-chorus right after the refrain is okay, but then you get like the actual chorus from mainly YG, and that just feels like a completely different song. In general, like between this like really stilted production and these really mismatch of like song components vocally, it just feels very odd, and this feels like it's an attempt to replicate some of those big bangers they've made in the past and some of their biggest songs, but I just don't think the song was here. Like the writing is just not here. Um, from there you have track 4, Bratty, which I think the chorus pretty sticky from Rujin and Yeji, not bad. Yeah, solid melody, it's fine. Bridge into the last chorus, pretty nice. Psychic Lover, a little bit of a guitar lick in there, no rapping. Nice chord progression, like Yeji and Leah stand out vocally. Then the last song, you have Kill Shot, which also has a visual with it. And this is clearly a nod to In the Morning, of course, the Mafia song. People know, one of the big ITZY hits. And it doesn't quite hit the highs of that, but still okay. So, like, that's all the songs. Like, as you can tell, like, I think there's things to like about it. And if you're an ITZY fan, you can like try and talk yourself into some of this stuff. But to me, I want to just hear better records, and I just think like the A&Ring and like the creative work behind this is just not up to snuff. And I hope JYP can kind of right the ITZY ship here, because again, like I think most people who like ITZY, they like them because they like the group, they like the people involved. Yuna, incredibly underutilized, underrated rapper, great vocalist. Rujin, of course, people know how huge of a stage presence she has, and Yeji is arguably one of the most talented, new faces in K-pop. She can do everything. Leah, nice vocalist. Chaeyoung, nice dancer. Like it's a good group, but we just haven't heard the songs in a few years since the early days, and I'm hoping that changes because I like the group and I hope they can stick around. And again, they got a lot of big competition right now with some of the newer faces coming up. So we'll see what happens next with ITZY. I can't imagine they go quiet for the rest of the year. They'll probably release another EP at the end of the year, I would imagine. We'll see though. But let me know, how did you feel about ITZY's Kill My Doubt? How did you compare it to the last few releases? Do you think it's kind of a more interesting step in the right direction, but not quite there yet, like me? What do you think? And for more K-pop reviews, more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.